Weird.
We can't all make declarations of hatred at the same time. Hi, everybody.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
你好中过只叫吸纳，我爱更尊重中。石油上。
Alson, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it.
I don't care.
But how did you ever find us?
Oh, easy. We just read the screenplay you left us. Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God!
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
I'll help you.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
All right, it is Thursday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for Tooney Talk TV. Sorry, folks. My name is Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster, and I am a little out of practice because I've been away for a week. I've been on a business trip for that Park Place, but I'm back as of today. Walked in the door maybe 2 hours ago, so I am fresh from a 12-hour drive, and here to basically pick apart all the goings on of the pop culture world. But I can't do that alone, and to do that, I need friends by my side. And well, you know what? I also need Trish.
Hi. I know I'm usually not the first one, but
that's right. Kev's getting set up, so I had to, you had to sub in.
I was ready.
You had to get the hot tag.
I was gonna say I was ready to tag in. Don't worry about it.
Hot tag, brother. Yeah. So I had a very productive trip this past week. Saw a bunch of really cool things that I'm going to be reporting on for that Park Place, and yeah, now we're back, and we've got so much to talk about. The Rachel Zegler
I wanted to
trailer.
say something about it, but I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything.
I don't know yet if I'm going to say exactly where I was or what I was doing yet, but it was productive, and it will be beneficial to both that Park Place and my channels. So
awesome.
I'm very, very happy with it. So yeah, Trish, we've got to talk this week about Rachel Zegler's epic dislike trailer and YouTube's attempts to hide the dislikes.
Saw that.
Yeah, that's
Can't
really
hide, everybody.
What happened today. So it happened today, and it happened during the pro show. We'll talk about it in a minute. We also got to talk about Severus Snape and what's going on with him. So yeah, we'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk a bit about Pirates of the Caribbean if we've got some time.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, Johnny Depp might actually be considering returning, so we'll see.
Got him those alpacas.
We'll see. I honestly hope he sticks to his guns. But folks, also to talk about this, we gotta fill our ESG score up. So without any further ado. Apollo, there you are, my friend.
I'm being introduced second. Is this how you run things around here? I was screwed.
I was screwed by the administration of Tooney Talk TV. Oh my goodness. Kev, how you doing today?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Let's
Tired.
let's talk about some silly stuff.
Yes, let's talk about some silly stuff. But to do
I
that,
know
guys,
that mood.
we also need our good friend from the world of that Park Place and the podcast, The Lost Guys. We need the one and only Martin Stone for that.
Yeah, well, there's nobody sillier than me, that's for sure.
We've got to talk about a lot of silliness this week, guys. So just the four of us starting off. I believe Nolan is joining us a little bit later. Lauren sends his love this week, but unfortunately not able to make it. But before then, guys, Ewan Cumia has gifted one
already.
Tooney TV membership. So thank you very much, Ewan Cumia. We love having you here. I have also gifted 5 Tooney TV memberships. And then Ewan Cumia, member for 2 months, says, if Depp returns, I might just see this movie. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And
Yeah,
that's
probably.
why they're going to back a dump truck full of money up to his house to get him to try to do it.
It's almost as if they jumped the gun in getting rid of him so soon.
Yeah, right?
Hmm.
Well, his abuser got to be in a bunch of movies. Josh Carlos, 98 for $4.99. More horrifying CGI. The Cats from Cats 2019. Oh, the Dwarfs, the Snow White remake.
It's a tight raise.
That is a tight race. I'm going to have to say the Dwarfs are a little bit more, like, unsettling than the Cats, because the Cats were at least entertaining to laugh at. The Dwarves are just unsettling.
I don't know. James Corden is a cat.
There was apparently a cut of that film where the cats all had buttholes.
Release the butthole
And
cut.
I don't understand why we wasted so much time with people online belly aching about the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Where's the people demanding the butthole cut of Cats?
It's probably because Tumblr shut down.
Probably. All right, guys. But speaking of buttholes, Disney's got a pretty slow one right now. Because, as you will see, if we look at the trailer currently for Snow White, the live-action Rachel Zegler disaster that it is.
Not a movie anymore.
It is just a live-action Rachel Zegler disaster. Oh, it's a good thing I refreshed because it just went up by another 13,000.
Oh my god.
Yes. Hold on. Let me do this again. Screen share, Disney Snow White. There we go. We've got a like to dislike ratio, 23,000 likes to 563,000 dislikes.
If I may. I checked this late last night, and the like count was 20,000, so it's gone up by 3,000, but the dislike was about 100,000+ less than that. If it gives you the speed over the likes to dislikes, it has not been 24 hours.
Trish, it just went up. It just went up 13,000 dislikes in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's someone in the comments who's like, I will periodically edit this comment to keep everybody updated on the dislikes.
Well, okay, so let's talk a bit about it, because there's been many developments going on with this. So Snow White trailer dislike ratio explodes in first 24 hours on YouTube. This is by me and Montanero. This was just from yesterday, December 4th. So we're going to see all the changes that this has made. Rachel Zegler's live-action Disney Snow White reboot trailer has finally been released on YouTube, and Disney fans are flocking to the video to, excuse me, got the hiccups, to voice their displeasure. The video had garnered, at the time I wrote this, more than 195,000 dislikes in less than a day.
Which is impressive on its own.
It has since gone on to more than double that number. The like to dislike ratio for a video can tell you a lot about how audiences feel. If you have more likes than dislikes, then you have a generally favorable reputation with the audience. But when the dislikes outnumber the likes by a wide margin, it might be time to panic. It's safe to say that Disney might panic after the Snow White trailer's initial YouTube launch. The video currently sits at 16,000 likes and whopping 195,000 dislikes. Disney held the Snow White trailer back for several weeks, releasing it in theaters alongside box office hits like Wicked and Moana 2. However, the company purposely avoided posting the trailer publicly online until yesterday, as of this, so 2 days ago now. By the way, it's gotten over 500,000 dislikes in 48 hours. Now, many believed this was because Disney feared the exact reaction that viewers are having to the trailer right now. YouTube typically hides dislikes on its videos to the general public. However, they're still accessible with certain browser extensions that uncover the ratio and even highlights a discrepancy with green and red lines. This isn't the first time that Snow White has received such a ratio. The last teaser trailer for the big budget Rachel Zegler live action remake currently sits at 99,000 likes to more than 1.4 million dislikes. You can see that there. So what do people hate about the film?
They hate me. They really hate me.
She goes on like social media after that, and she's like, "Oh my god, like look all the people that have watched this trailer." And I'm like, "You got 1.4 million dislikes on this video, lady." Like, so what do people hate about this? For one, the trailers have shown a much different interpretation of the original Disney animated classic, portraying Snow White in the 2024 strong, independent woman stereotype. This is something that viewers are frankly getting tired of, particularly from Disney. Then you have the dwarves. Instead of casting actual little people as Snow White's 7 friends, Disney caved to pressure from actor Peter Dinklage, who said that casting little people in the roles would be offensive. It should be noted that currently just about every major Hollywood role made for little people goes to Peter Dinklage. Disney went on to cast 7 diverse actors, only one of which was a little person, to play the roles, but reversed course after a set photo was mocked relentlessly by the entire internet. It has since gone with 7 CGI characters that have become the laughing stock of the film world. And then, of course, you have Rachel Zegler, an outspoken activist whose incendiary rhetoric has incensed an already agitated fan base time and time again since this movie went into production. She loudly and proudly criticized the original 1937 film, insinuating that it had sexist themes surrounding love and marriage. She noted proudly that her version of Snow White wouldn't be saved by the prince or dream of true love. Rather, she would be dreaming of becoming, quote, the leader she always knew she could be. She also referred to Snow White's prince as a man who literally stalks her before calling it weird in a moment that has become an infamous meme. Zegler also used the film's last trailer as a soapbox to get her opinions out regarding conflict in the Middle East. When commenting on the widely despised trailer several months ago, Zegler ended her social media post by saying to free a certain country that I don't think we're probably allowed to talk about on YouTube. It should be noted that her co-star in Snow White, Gal Gadot, is a veteran of the army from the other side of that conflict. And then, of course, she freaked out after the presidential election. We all know how this happened, folks. We all know what. I'm just going to put the like-dislike ratio back up there, actually. I just want people to just continue to look at just how high this number can go. By the way, dislike. Add one more to it. What is happening, guys?
I never dislike videos. I can't be bothered, but I've disliked both of these trailers. That doesn't say anything. And I'm telling you, they're the only ones the only ones I think I've ever clicked that button for.
There's so much to talk about. Like, she looks awful. She looks like a little Dutch boy. She looks terrible.
She does.
She does look like a little Dutch boy.
Like Shawn Michaels. Like Shawn Michaels when he came back.
You know, like, I get it. Peter Dinklage, like, kicked over the step stool and then pulled the ladder up to make sure no other dwarves could climb up behind him. But, like,
yeah,
at this point, they should have stuck with the 7 they thems and just taken the beating, because these horrible Goosebumps totem pole monsters are not doing it for me at all. They're nightmare fuel. Man. One of them looks like Richard Nixon.
and one of them looks like Culture Casino. Hold on. So first of all, you've got this Mitch McConnell turtle in here.
Thank you, Martin.
I'm here to serve.
Oh.
Yes, Martin pointed that out, and then you've got this, like, you know, CGI Culture Casino looking grumpy. Where the heck? Come on, where is it? There we go. I think it's right here. Oh, nope, that's not it. Hold on, I'm determined to find it now.
The one sleeping looks like Richard Nixon.
Yes.
That's a Dutch boy, Henry.
Yeah, there it is. That was Culture. That was him right there. Just with no glorious mustache. We pointed it out on the pro show the other day that this is just Culture Casino. But yeah. So guys, is there a way that Disney can save face with this film?
Nope.
Right? No, nothing at all, right?
Nope. No.
They should They should put up a banner that just says "Blame Peter Dinklage" and go on with their day.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was one thing that was a joke. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking there's one thing that was a joke that was going on in the comments, which was to change the ending and make the evil queen win, and everybody would be happy. If they did that, that would probably make people more interested in it. Not a lot.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
They're not going to, obviously, because
No,
you know
of course
they'll change
not.
everything but that.
And we haven't talked about her potentially being Che Guevara and leading a socialist revolution.
Oh, I thought she
throughout
meant
the
like
kingdom.
cast in another movie. I was like, what?
Oh, could you imagine?
No, I think she isn't she playing like Gloria Estefan in a movie or something? Or
Stop it.
Yeah, I heard that.
She just got announced to play somebody in a biopic.
What?
It was some music star, I think.
What did Gloria Estefan ever do to anybody?
I know, right?
Oh.
Well, I mean, the rhythm got so many people.
And not
It
Gloria
did.
Steinem?
I don't remember if it was Gloria Estefan or what, but guys, it's so bad. I mean, like when you look at this and you're like, wow, I really long for the days of the Kristen Stewart movie for Snow White.
Snow White
That
and the
nobody
Huntsman.
even remembers happened. Yeah, Snow White and the Huntsman. It's her and Hemsworth, right?
There was a
Yeah.
sequel to
so.
that one.
Yeah, just there's just a Hemsworth sequel.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so now here's the really interesting part. Now where it gets interesting, because I think Disney understands where its bread is buttered right now. Hollywood turns on Rachel Zegler as Snow White trailer is flooded with dislikes. And this was written today by our friend WDW Pro over on thatparkplace.com. It appears that Hollywood is ready to come to the defense of Disney and throw poor Rachel Zegler overboard. It could be a cautionary tale for other outspoken young female stars. The latest Snow White trailer has reached a jaw-dropping 500,000 dislikes in just a single day. That's compared to only 22K total likes on YouTube. It's looking more and more wise on Disney's part to have held the trailer from true public access until a week after Moana 2 released. But whereas much of the movie is a result of Disney's own leadership or lack thereof, Bob Iger may be looking to trash Rachel Zegler and her career in order to get away from the controversy of sliming Walt's original film. This is from Variety. But one upcoming release, March's live-action Snow White, has been dogged by expensive reshoots and controversies related to star Rachel Zegler's social media posts. The actress declined to take down a tweet that promoted the $240 million movie with a free certain country in the Middle East postscript, but did apologize for a bleep Donald Trump and made Trump supporters never know peace Instagram post. Wading into divisive issues, as Zegler has done, isn't part of Disney's new playbook. Guys, that's from Variety.
Yeah, that's where Iger plants all his stuff.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
If Variety or Deadline are saying it, or the Hollywood Reporter, you know it's coming from Disney. They are pushing the official rhetoric that Disney wants pushed.
Ugh. I'm sorry.
Unless they're talking about
later.
Is this the gayest Rachel Zegler we've ever seen?
You know, the one thing about... Oh, you're going to keep going?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, please.
The one thing about them doing this to her, well, kind of two things. One, it's going to open up the whole narrative of, oh, I'm just an outspoken woman and I'm being silenced because I dare have an opinion as a woman. One, like, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is it's shifting all of the problems on her. And it's not all her that's the problem. It's a lot her.
I would say it's 80% her, and it's like 20% the dwarves. Like, I think people could have dealt with the dwarves if it actually looked like Snow White.
Well, it's every executive who had something to do with creating this movie should be sitting there sweating on the chopping block. It should be the James Franco meme.
Yeah.
Because from the ridiculous overreaction, because no one cared what Peter Dinklage said except for Peter Dinklage. No one cared.
Yeah.
And clearly he hasn't even watched the movie in ages because they said they were what homeless cave dwelling trolls, and
they live in a cave, and I'm like, they live in a beautiful little cottage.
They're wealthy businessmen sharing a cottage.
They're like entrepreneurs.
They might as well be living in the Hamptons, for God's sake. And then then again the 7 they thems, a bunch of unwashed freaking Portland weirdos and a dwarf marching around who thought that was going to play well.
Bunch of hippies.
Yeah, a bunch of filthy hippies. And then we go with Richard Nixon and the rest of the Nightmare Fuel creatures.
Right, Richard Nixon and the Nightmare Fuel is a decent band name.
Richard Nixon, yes.
I like it.
Speaking of a decent band name, by the way, joining us right now is the Nolan Thunder Experience.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Nolan, we are knee deep in Rachel Zegler dislikes right now.
Ooh, what's the ratio up to now?
All right, you know what? I'm gonna refresh it one more time just to see if it's gone up in the last 10 minutes.
It feels like watching a sports game.
It is still 23,000. It is still 23,000 likes to 563,000 dislikes.
Oh my gosh!
No one clearly hadn't heard that.
It might become the most disliked YouTube video ever. I mean, it's got some numbers to do if it's going to beat YouTube Rewind, but still, it is going fast.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, the last one still has 1.4 million dislikes. So the teaser trailer still has 1.4 million dislikes. So it's got a ways to go before it can hit that. But I have faith in them. I have faith that
if it keeps up this pace,
Yeah. So Pro goes on to say, Rachel Zegler, once heralded as one of Hollywood's brightest rising stars, is now experiencing an unexpected turn of events. With her live-action portrayal of Snow White on the horizon, Zegler finds herself at the center of a whirlwind of skepticism and criticism, as early industry whispers suggest the film may struggle to reach its ambitious box office goals. Whereas it was fashionable at one point to take politically divisive positions on the Middle East or claim male heroes and fairy tales were less than aspirational, Zegler now faces a completely different world landscape, and Disney is all too keen to make sure that it's her, not them, that's against the majority. The young star burst onto the Hollywood scene with her breakout role as Maria in Steven Spielberg's critically acclaimed remake of West Side Story. Critically acclaimed, but not box office acclaimed. At just 20 years old, her performance garnered rave reviews, earning her a Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. It was a role that showcased her extraordinary vocal talent, which you can't take away from her. The girl can sing. Emotional depth and undeniable screen presence, cementing her as a star to watch. Unfortunately, her ability to handle public relations, as well as her lack of relatability, would be her undoing. Her journey to Hollywood fame began in a rather unconventional way. Zegler was discovered via a casting call on Twitter for West Side Story. Her natural charisma and vocal prowess, evident even in her audition tape, catapulted her from a New Jersey high school student, that explains so much, to an overnight sensation. Following the success of West Side Story, Zegler was quickly cast in high-profile projects such as Shazam! Fury of the Gods and the upcoming Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. None of these projects succeeded at the box office, however, even with the Hunger Games title being the lowest ever for the franchise. So that's the only one. The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was the one that made money, but it didn't make enough money. It cleared its production budget, but it's still the lowest ranked of all the Hunger Games films. Somebody says here, imagine Rachel Zegler telling people to be kind when she actively tried to get Gina Carano canceled. That is true. When Disney announced Zegler as the lead for their live-action remake of Snow White, the choice was seen as a bold and progressive move by those who wanted Disney to be a social activist company for the left. Zegler's casting represented a modern reimagining of the classic character, aligning with Disney's ongoing efforts to diversify its princess lineup. However, the project has been plagued by controversy from the outset. Critics and audiences have raised questions about the film's direction, its substantial budget, and the creative decisions behind its production. Recent reports suggest that the film may need to gross over $1 billion to break even, a staggering benchmark in today's box office landscape, especially for a film that lacks the built-in fan base of franchises like Marvel or Star Wars. Some outlets are trying to downplay that number to be closer to $600 million, but even then, they're rather hopeless that it can accomplish the task. Adding fuel to this fire, Zegler has faced backlash for her comments during promotional interviews. While her remarks, such as her modern take on Snow White's character arc and critiques of outdated fairy tale tropes, were intended to resonate with contemporary audiences, they have instead polarized fans. Some have praised her candor and progressive stance, while most others have accused her of being dismissive of the original story's legacy. And then you see it right there, 1.4 million dislikes. The stakes for Snow White are undeniably high, and that is very, very true. Guys, she's really shot this movie in the foot.
And for having such high stakes,
yes,
to me, it's a complete foregone conclusion that this thing is going to do poorly. So imagine sitting there and the stakes are really high, but you know it's not going to work out in your favor.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it behind the scenes there.
Yep. Now, Kevin, dislikes on YouTube have kind of become a social barometer, right? Like it's kind of become a thing where like we're able to kind of take the temperature of what audiences are thinking. We're able to we saw it with the Acolyte, we saw it with Rings of Power, we're seeing it with Snow White, we saw it with The Little Mermaid. These things get ratioed into oblivion. YouTube tries to hide it, but with certain browser extensions, you can still see the dislikes. How long do you think they're going to allow that to continue?
I mean, they've already punished us for voicing our opinion several times, when we weren't supposed to. So
yeah,
I would imagine that it's only a matter of time before the dislike button's gone completely. Eventually,
right?
I think once let's see. I guess it depends on how they punish Zegler, right? Because I still think they're going to give her an escape hatch. They'll put the blame on her, but they won't refute her saying you're doing this because I'm a powerful woman. But if that blows up and everyone's like, we don't want to hear it, you suck too, then I'm sure Disney will get its way, and the dislike button will go away. And unless you have a special kind of browser, you won't be able to downvote anything. They already experimented with this back in 2020, so we know it's eventually on the to-do list, but it's people now have the ability to vote with their wallets and their social media. So it's good luck, because you're just going to make it messier in other areas.
Well, let me bring this to you guys' attention, because this happened today, and it happened live while Pro was on the air with the Pro Show earlier, and I was driving for 12 hours. YouTube dislikes disappeared from browser extensions after massive Disney Snow White trailer ratio. Was this a test run?
Probably.
YouTube dislikes started to disappear today and remained invisible for about 5 minutes. Many believe this might have been a test run by Google for blocking browser extensions that expose dislike ratio numbers. Dislike counts have been invisible for quite some time for standard YouTube viewers. However, certain browser extensions unlock these hidden features, letting users truly understand which way the critical wind is blowing. YouTube dislike ratios have become something of a barometer of public opinion in the entertainment world, with companies like Disney and Amazon Prime coming up on the wrong side of the thumbs up versus thumbs down social survey many times. In the last 48 hours, we've seen Disney's new live-action Snow White trailer featuring Rachel Zegler ratioed into oblivion, with more than 500,000 dislikes to 23,000 likes. During today's live stream of the Pro Show with WW Pro, the dislike count vanished across all of YouTube, even for those using browser extensions that uncovered the truth. This was first brought to Pro's attention by YouTube content creator Knee Pain. And guys, check out Knee Pain's channel, because it's a good channel. Dislike numbers remained invisible for about 5 minutes before coming back, leading many to wonder if YouTube was running some kind of test on a feature that would block browser extensions from uncovering what the public truly thinks about media like Snow White. So you can check out, if you guys go to this article, you could check out Pro and Jonas reacting to this live. It's a great watch because you get to see them realize that it's gone and then realize that it comes back. So Jonas said, it sounds like this particular extension, which is one of the more popular extensions that does this, has been disabled. And Pro said, and it's being disabled just coincidentally at the same time that Snow White is being buried with dislikes and could cost Disney hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
I feel like the first time they did this was with Rings of Power.
Right.
I feel like we watched them do this before with Rings of Power.
That was when they got rid of the dislikes, like being able to see them regularly, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they're trying to block the browser extensions that allow you to see it.
They're never going to. They'll be chasing their tail with that.
Am I the only one that finds this legitimately scary? Like, this is kind of terrifying.
No,
Well, so
I don't think you are.
Jonas actually has a W take here, which can surprise me because Jonas is I'll take Jonas. But I'm kidding. No, Jonas has a great take on this, and I think he's right. He says, I would bet in a situation like this that somebody from Disney was talking about how much money they spend on this platform and how much money they spend on ads and how much traffic is driven to this platform. I bet there was also a conversation about the fact that Snow White did not premiere this trailer on YouTube. Instead, several days, maybe a week beforehand, this went to theaters, only making everybody go to YouTube search this trailer and then leave empty-handed. So I think that there have probably been some active discussions with YouTube about whether or not their trailers are going to end up on the platform at this point. I think this is probably not a conversation that started today. I don't think Bob Iger or whoever's in charge of communications at the Walt Disney Company just got on the phone and said, turn them off right now. I think this has been a weeks-long discussion, if not a month-long discussion, about the dislike situation here between the Walt Disney Company trailers and, of course, probably companies like Amazon with Rings of Power getting raided into oblivion. The issue was reported across several dislike monitoring platforms, which means it wasn't a glitch in a particular extension. It was something that happened at the source at YouTube. So now the question becomes, was this intentional, and will we see it again? Guys, your thoughts?
Yes and yes.
Well, Marvin and I have had a couple discussions, off the stream about like the dystopian nature of information control. And the less information people have, the better it is for the interests who want to keep things static, the people already in power, right? So major advertisers, YouTube itself, if they can starve us for information but keep information for themselves, that's to their benefit. There's no downside for them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And the oh God, it makes so much sense. I hate how much sense it makes. Kevin Apollo, what do you think? Do you think YouTube was trying to test this out for mass rollout?
100%. 100%. I'm sure it's ready to go. I mean, listen, just look at how YouTube has behaved since a little before 2020. Adults can't use words so that language gets obfuscated and infantilized. Like we had to say self-deletion. How absurd is that? It's like I know we love to use the phrase Orwellian, but that's exactly what it is. How long?
Kevin's gonna like a piece I've been working on.
Yeah.
How long before we're not able to say the word bad?
Right.
It's I mean it's absurd. It's absurd. The only thing I say is what I always say: vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet. Explore the platforms. User created content is king. Because the only way we beat them is to outplay them, and that's pretty much about. I don't mean to say it as a downer, but it just kind of is what it is. We have to outproduce them. We have to outnoise them. And make sure they learn the hard way.
Have any of you read 1984?
I have not.
I'm sorry, my cat is having a.
Martin asks, have you read 1984?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, great book. And you say how long till we can't say bad. That is a central point of newspeak in the book. They're going to get rid of the word bad, so you can't express that something is less than good.
Yeah, right. It was less than good, right?
Yeah, it's double plus ungood.
Yeah.
That sounds like something that'll show up in these videos one day. It's double plus not good, guys.
YouTubers are bound to get creative, like the lingo we use in these streams or videos across the platforms and stuff like that. I'm excited to see how the YouTubers are going to get creative with the dislike button. I remember when COPPA, the Children's Protection Act, happened to where YouTube comments on videos aimed at kids were no longer a thing. I remember seeing people talking about, okay, to shift my channel, do I need to have a YouTube video that's just dedicated to comments? And then people watch the video and then switch to that video. And they're going to be thinking some fourth dimensional thinking on how they can bring the dislike button back in some way. I could see people maybe commenting on videos being like, this is the new dislike button, thumbs this comment up, and they'll just keep bringing that up the numbers on that. But the reality is, it's really hard to do this kind of thing, to talk in certain kinds of lingo, to dance around touchy topics that the big bosses don't like. And you have to think in the long run, YouTube is a very, very powerful entity that has a lot of connections to a lot of very powerful people.
Well,
and you have to think
what you're saying there, Nolan, and I'll let you continue to say it, but it's the second biggest search engine in the world, and the first biggest is its parent company, Google. So yeah, continue.
Exactly. And to kind of spring off of something Kevin was saying, I think the only way that this is ever going to change, because we've seen YouTube stay pretty firm on a lot of things, despite certain kinds of elections or company say and all that stuff. They have a lot of viewpoints they've kind of stuck to their guns on over the years, and YouTubers have just had to adapt and deal with it. I think it's going to take another big bad in town in order to get them to ever change this, because like we said, there was a outcry about the dislikes. There was outcry about the Children's Protection Act. There was outcry way back in 2010 when they were catering to certain content ID claims. They don't ever change. So I think it's going to take competition for that to ever happen. That's just my personal opinion, but history tends to repeat itself.
Yeah.
One of the difficulties with these social media platforms and introducing a competitor is that you need a critical mass of users in order to generate enough content for it to be worthwhile for people to switch.
Right.
And that's very difficult to do. You've seen Rumble struggle with that. LinkedIn has been able to make a go of it as a social media platform because it's niche, but also because it has a bunch of different revenue streams relating to like people looking for jobs are paying and people who are posting jobs are paying. It has different revenue streams than just people who go and they're being advertised to. So YouTube is in a really strong position, not monopolistic exactly, but it's getting pretty close to it.
Yeah, it's what Photon Empress, who, by the way, I'm very, very excited to see here tonight, says, a dislike button? No. What about my safe space that has no dislikes? I completely agree.
I think one day you're going to get, when you go to the doctor's office and they have like that diagram that shows on a scale of 1 in 10, how big is the pain? People are going to see the videos and like, how much did this offend me? An 8 out of 10.
I think that we are at a point where eventually the social credit score is going to become a thing. It's going to be like that episode of The Orville where the entire society lives and dies by up votes, down votes, like literally lives and dies by it. I thought that was a brilliant episode. Except so you'd see the downvotes for individuals, but not for movie trailers, because God forbid we upset Disney or Amazon Prime, which, by the way, Rings of Power just got renewed for season 3 officially, and we knew it was coming, but they officially said today, yeah, we're doing a 3rd season. So.
Do we know what the payout to the Tolkien estate has to be if they don't hit 5 seasons?
Oh, is that a thing? Like they have to pay out to the if they don't.
If I'm remembering this correctly, they guaranteed the Tolkien estate a minimum of 5 seasons.
Gosh. How many people are going to be left watching this show at the end of 5 seasons?
Do they still want that? I wouldn't if I were them.
Did you see that Amazon was boasting that Rings of Power got a sudden surge in viewership? But I have a funny feeling it's just a bunch of normies who are seeing that we're getting this animated movie and they just wanted Lord of the Rings content.
And the animated movie is not Lord of the Rings content either.
Yeah,
the animated movie is just vile.
There are so many Tolkien stories. Why do we have to tell stories he didn't tell?
Because this one's about a lady, Martin.
Oh, right.
Because never mind the fact that by telling a story about a woman from Rohan who became this badass warrior lady, it completely cuts the legs out of Éowyn's entire story from the Lord of the Rings, in that she's the first woman in Rohan that rose up to do this. Why would Theoden King be like, no, of course you can't go fight because you're a woman. He should be like, you're just like Helga Hammerhand or whatever her name is, who was so stunning and brave and fought back everybody. It completely undermines Eowyn's entire story, and I hate it.
There must be a Jordan Peterson video out there about, like why people keep making prequels so that their characters can be the ones that are the heroes of the characters we actually like.
Yes, because prequels, I mean, look, the Star Wars prequels made a gajillion dollars because everybody wanted to see him become Darth Vader. Because you want to see how certain things that you love already happen. But then they're trying to recreate that formula with things like the creation of Mordor in the first season, which was the worst, cringiest thing ever, where the thing says, the Southlands, Mordor. Like, it's so dumb.
The sword key.
It
was like a Legend of Zelda puzzle.
I was in a sword and knife store recently, and they had like all these replicas of like famous swords throughout the years, and I saw the hilt of Sauron's sword from Rings of Power in there, and I was like, who bothered to make a mold for this?
You had me so hyped. You had me so hyped, Marvin. I thought you were going to say the Master Sword, and I was about to die here for a second.
No, like you can find the Master Sword at literally every Comic-Con that's ever existed.
Dude, I keep trying to get a certain kind of Master Sword, and they always never have the one I'm actually looking to because conveniently it's sold out. So maybe they don't trust me with that thing.
The pain in your voice.
I've been through this, girl. I've been through it.
Wouldn't it be great if they made Master Sword replicas? Like, no, have you been to a convention? Like, wouldn't it be great if somebody dressed as Harley Quinn?
Dude.
You know what I'd love to see, Nolan? Someone dressed as Deadpool. Cool
For all I know, they don't exist. It's just a.
If people went in public dressed as Deadpool.
No, I'm doing my my thing like the actors and actresses do. I'm the first diverse character to ever happen. Not like those other 4 characters.
You are the Katniss Everdeen of Comic-Con.
Jennifer Lawrence, my go-to.
Oh, amazing! All right, we got
action star.
We've got some super chats to get it. We got some super chats to get through, guys. If you want your voice heard as part of the Tooney Town community, drop a super chat. We leave no super chats behind. We break for super chats of $50 or over. Otherwise, we get to them in between topics like we're doing right now. And John Williams checking in for $4.99. Depp was fired on mere allegations. Ezra Miller was allowed to stay despite video evidence of him assaulting multiple women, yet they still kept him to film The Flash. Yes, this is the thing that happened.
He tormented an entire island.
Yes.
He took hostages.
He terrorized an entire island. Like he was Rita Repulsa, sending down his minions of evil to just run roughshod over these poor people.
I mean, how do you break into a hotel room and steal someone's ID, tell them that you now know where they live, and everything is okay after you throw a chair at the person's way? What?
Oh, and all this is allegedly, by the way.
Of course, yeah, allegedly. You know what's not allegedly? The arrest video, which is my favorite video of all time.
My favorite part of all that. My favorite part of all that was after the fact when one of those WB execs was like, "Yeah, we might bring him back again one day after the Flash. Like, that'd be awesome."
Because they thought that when they had Steven Spielberg, I don't know what they had to pay Steven Spielberg to get him to come out and be like, "This is the greatest superhero movie ever made." And then I went and I saw it, and I'm like, putting the babies in the microwave. This is the mutant CGI babies. Like, this is the greatest superhero movie of all time, Steven.
Maybe
really?
He's throwing shade on superhero movies.
Yeah, maybe he is. That would be some impressive shade. John Coleman, member for 1 month. Dwarf Matter, disliked trailer. Big time. BPE 592009 for $10 sent a super sticker. It was some kind of smarmy looking lemon, and I enjoyed that.
Oh, I love it. I want to see it.
Yeah. I gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships twice or 3 times. So I've gifted 15 now. You and Kumia also gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships. Thank you so much, you and Kumia. Very, very much appreciate the support. Turning the chat green. Folks, they say that it's not that easy being green, but here on Tooney Town TV, we like to think we make it pretty easy to turn the chat green. Tyler Golosinski, justice for Hornswoggle to get into Hollywood. Yes. Guys, if you haven't seen, I interviewed Hornswoggle over on the Tooney Town Wrestling channel, and we talked at length about what Peter Dinklage said. He called him a D-head, and he talked about how he kicked the ladder down behind him. And let me tell you something, guys. If they were going to cast actual little people in this, I bet you Hornswoggle, if he was, and I don't know anything, I didn't talk to Dylan about this part. But the guy was in Muppets Most Wanted, which means he has contacts at Disney, which means he probably would have been on the, no pun intended, short list of actors who would have been brought in to play these roles. Right? Am I wrong there?
He probably would have been the breakout character.
Probably. Mr. Jamie Jam, 88 for $4.99. Sonic 3 or Mufasa? Which one y'all think is going to have the bigger box office? I'm Team Sonic, bro. Gotta go fast. I mean, this is a no-brainer, guys. There is no hype around Mufasa. And the fact that they're leaning as hard as they're leaning into Pumbaa and Timon in every trailer, and I'm like, they're not in this movie. Like, they'll be at the beginning and the end. Maybe they'll cut back to them once in a while. But, like, that's not what this is going to be. They're hiding that it's a musical. Again, it's the cringy CGI. It's, oh my God.
Don't they change Mufasa's backstory?
Did
they make him like an orphan?
Yeah,
he's an adopted son, and Scar is the proper son.
Like what?
I think they leave to start their own thing, but then and I'm not kidding, the white colonizer lions show up.
Who isn't excited to watch Mufasa fight white colonizer lions? In this prequel to the Woman King.
Without laughing.
Oh my goodness.
I kind of forgot about it, honestly, until this super chat.
But so you know what? A friend of mine brought this up to me today, and I think it needs to be discussed about this thing. And this is the one thing that I think might actually work out in Mufasa's favor. Mufasa has all the Dolby, all the IMAX, all the 4DX theaters. Sonic doesn't have any of them because only one movie can be in those theaters at a time. And Disney booked it all up. They gave it all to Mufasa. And Sonic is a movie that you want to see in Dolby. And I think they're almost kind of doing themselves a disservice by putting themselves out at the same time.
Do you remember when Disney kicked the Hateful Eight out of all the 70 millimeter theaters?
I did.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not shocked.
It got an abbreviated run in some like classic theaters and some of the large format ones, and Tarantino, as much as he does, complained pretty publicly.
Yeah,
you can have all the IMAX theaters you want. It's not going to do you any good when they're empty.
That is also true. That is also, but I think it'll limit Sonic's box office intake because those are typically the more pricey of the tickets. So we'll see what happens. I mean, look, I think the last Sonic trailer, I liked it. It did scare me a little bit because they were leaning a little too hard into the human characters, and it kind of started to feel like a redux of the second one, where obviously, look, we all know Robotnik was going to turn on him at some point in this movie. It's it's Ric Flair turning on Sting. It's going to happen. But at the end of the day, by showing it being like the Robotniks with Shadow, it just kind of looked like Sonic 2 again. And they showed the stupid ant character, the sister, in the trailer. And I'm like, why is she back? After we took the 20-minute detour. We took the 20-minute detour where it became Black Women the movie. Where we're like, no more CGI characters going fast and blowing things up. We're going to follow these two ladies for like 15 minutes of this movie.
Can I make a counter argument?
Yes.
So I personally, if it looks a lot like the second movie, that might not honestly be a bad thing, because if they play it safe with this movie and they're, edging into like some of the things, you know, like Shadow having the gun, you know, doing a lot of fan servicey stuff. With how much everything else is erupting or exploding around them, I think that could actually play in their favor. I mean, there's times before where I've seen, like, take like Avatar: The Way of the Water. That was a film that was a very...
I won't.
No, I don't blame you, because that film was hot garbage. Hot take there. But it was very safe. It was very by the books. That plot was so generic, but it worked. That safe movie Cameron made with good family values about sticking together with brothers and daughters and fathers, it was against what Disney's been doing, and it resulted in one of the most financially successful films of all time. Even the Mario movie, there's times where I've heard people from Mario circles like, man, I wish they went deeper into the lore. I wish they spent some more time in these worlds, and the movie wasn't so fast paced. And I'm like, I think this is part of why it did so well. It keeps it constantly moving for kids. You got probably more human characters than we need, but it's there, you know, to keep some of the moms and such who don't care about Sonic kind of interested in something, to where they'll see it as a little more just okay than just a babysitting movie. I think that will end up in its favor. That's my personal take, but I guess we'll see in December.
We will certainly see. We will certainly see. Kevin Apollo, you seem like you got something to say.
Oh, I think the human characters are there for the wine mom who cares nothing about Sonic.
Right.
You know, that's why you've got Cyclops's. Was that Cyclops or Cyclops's brother? I could never tell them apart.
That was Cyclops.
And Shamar Moore. While Black Woman, the sequel is happening, they're going to be looking at Shamar Moore, who's going to probably find a way to not have a shirt on for some reason. and then
Probably.
And just for similar reasons to why Johnny Storm was only in Deadpool for 5 minutes, because we got to cool that budget off. We'll jump back to the funny hedgehogs running around and fighting and yelling at each other.
Yeah, well, that's why I like the Shadow series on Paramount Plus, because they were like, we're gonna do a Shadow TV show, and then they're like, wait, it's really expensive to keep animating this character in like every shot. So maybe in this Knuckles, I'm sorry, it was Knuckles TV show. Maybe in this Knuckles TV show, he'll just join a nice Jewish family and sit down at a table and talk in a lot of scenes, and then we'll have a couple episodes where he's just not in it. That show was that show entertained me. I'm sorry, like, it's not a good show, but that show entertained me.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It hit the good notes where we needed it to.
Tyler Golosinski for $4.99. Hey Marv, have you played Sonic Generations yet? Seems like it's like a rerun of their last games, but you get to play as Shadow. Yes, I have it. I've played it. It's amazing.
I bought it yesterday.
Oh, you haven't? Have you played it yet at all? Have you played the Shadow?
I played it last night. I've been going through it. It's still. I don't want to say my full opinion.
Are you playing the Sonic campaign or the Shadow campaign?
I played Generations, the crap out of it, like a decade ago. I've been all in the Shadow campaign. I'm about halfway through it. I'm almost done.
It's some of the best Sonic gameplay that I've ever experienced.
We're gonna have a lot to say on that coming up soon. Like, I love what they. I gotta say something I can say so far about it. They've really. I wish they would do it more, but they've really nailed Shadow as a character, I think, so far. Like, they are borrowing from the good aspects of, the past, and the way they've modernized Shadow, finally bringing him more into the light after he was kind of a little bit dormant outside of like some DLC type stuff. They are doing a good job respecting the past, and that's something I can truly appreciate.
For sure. We have a super chat for Siren the Cat. Meow, meow, meow. I hate that cat.
6 panelists tonight.
She is crushing my soul.
Photon Empress became a member at the Tooney Town Council member, which means that if you're a Tooney Town Council member, guys, when we do members only live streams on Mondays at 3 p.m., you get to join the panel if you so desire. So you can join Kevin Apollo and I, and anyone else on our regular panel who wants to have a join on those. Trish is usually not awake at 3 p.m.
I'm awake. I'm just not fully functional at 3 o'clock.
It's the period of time when we call it sleeping it off.
No.
What day is
it? I'm drunk. I'm working at night.
I know. It's more fun just she's out clubbing all night, folks. That's why we call it that's why we call it the trishing hour. Welcome, Photon Empress. JPS for $2. I'd rather watch Lion King 1.5. Underrated comedy. I agree. I like Lion King 1.5.
That's a good one.
I really like a lot of those Disney direct-to-video sequels. Return of Jafar, I marveled. I broke the Return of Jafar VHS tape when I was a kid because I watched it so much.
I just watched that 2 weeks ago.
I rewound the bit with Jafar versus the genie in the "You're Only Second Rate" song so many times the tape broke. Because I love
if that doesn't
song
sing
so
praises. If that doesn't sing praises to a movie, I don't know what will. I've actually heard before. This is gonna sound super weird, but I've heard good things about Cinderella 3, the one with the time travel and stuff. So I kind of want to see that movie just to know how balls to the wall insane it is.
Yeah, I've heard that one's good too. I liked both Aladdin sequels. I really liked Lion King 2. Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. I don't know why, if they were doing a second Lion King movie, I don't know why they bothered with this Mufasa thing. Why wouldn't you just remake Simba's Pride?
I think that they have redone Mufasa, or they're making Mufasa and then making Mufasa not Scar's brother because of Lion King 2.
So that they can make it so that Kovu can be Scar's son.
Yeah.
Martin, you just nailed it.
Yeah, humans would be uncomfortable with the way lions procreate indiscriminately.
Yes. Well, that was the thing. Like, it's very clear in Lion King 2 that Kovu is supposed to be Scar's son. And then they got halfway through production and somebody realized, wait a minute, Scar is Simba's uncle. Therefore, he is Kiara's cousin. So he looks exactly like Scar, but he's not Scar's son. He was chosen by Scar.
Mr. Eisner, sir, I've got a memo here. I think you should read it before they finish this movie.
I heard it comes from the Leonard Skinner band.
What in the Alabama?
We don't talk about Leonard Skinner in bad ways.
John Williams for $4.99 says the best part about the Knuckles show is that it triggers Ken Penders. I don't know who Ken Penders is.
I'll tell you who he is.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you. Okay, so Ken Penders used to be the writer for the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comic books back in the 90s and such.
Okay.
It was a very controversial era for a lot of things to put in Sonic the Hedgehog that maybe did not have business from a certain viewpoint being in Sonic the Hedgehog. And whatever's going through your mind right now was in that comic book. He was very controversial for his writing, but the reason is they got wild crazy after the fact was he was on in a very, very old agreement because this was like a 90s comic book tie-in that Sega didn't care about. So he barely had an agreement, like a contract written out with them. He went to court over a Sonic game that came out on the DS years later. And he went to court against Sega, basically claiming these are my characters, not your characters. And there was a huge legal debacle about this, which basically led to eventually the Sonic comics being rebooted and throwing out a bunch of the 1990s cartoon characters, such as Sally Acorn, Bunny the Rabbit, all of them. They got completely flushed out, all the lore, all that. And it's also the reason now when there's certain guidelines Sega has now to the Sonic characters, like Sonic and Amy can never end up together. Lots of other things that would actually bring a lot more character development or deeper stories. It's all because of Ken Penders and his need to claim these characters. And if you ever look into him, the dude, from everything I've seen, doesn't seem like he's that good of a dude. I really hope he grows as a person one day, but he has made himself an enemy to a lot of Sonic fans. And if you're ever interested, I recommend looking up documentaries about him because it's kind of a tragic tale, really.
Fascinating. Thank you for pointing all that out, Nolan. That's stuff I didn't know. I knew that the stuff with the Sonic comics were all just like a crazy, a crazy mess that was wildly different from the games.
Fun fact, Ian Flynn, who took over for Penders, actually now works with Sega, I believe, on some of the writing for, I believe, including Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Oh, okay. Awen the Fair said the music for Lion King 2 was pretty good. I say it's better than pretty good. The music in Lion King 2 is fantastic. I really liked Simba's song "We Are One." I think My Lullaby is as good as Be Prepared as far as a villain song goes. Like, My Lullaby is one of the best Disney villain songs I've ever heard. It's like a messed up song. And by the way, I agree with Photon Empress here. Humans would be uncomfortable with the way lions procreate is the current quote of the show to be.
Indiscriminately.
Yes. Indiscriminately. Oh man, now I just want to watch Lion King too. Like, it's very good. Like, they got Matthew Broderick back to do it. Oh my goodness.
Can I just say really quick that when Nolan was like, "Oh, Sonic did a comic with Archie," which, okay, Archie comics got really weird on their own, which leads me to when you said whatever you're picturing probably happened. I pictured Riverdale, but with like Sonic the Hedgehog running around.
Oh God! And knowing the way that people treat Sonic the Hedgehog characters online, Riverdale and Sonic should not go together.
Riverdale got
sure it exists. Weird. I'm sure it exists.
We've just spoken into existence.
Oh, no.
Yes, you're welcome.
Take it back.
Never.
Oh my goodness! All right, guys. Well, Trish, you're about to have a lot to say, I think, because we're talking.
Oh, here
it
comes.
Next. Here we go. This one coming from Bounding into Comics with our friend Spencer Baculi as the author. Severus Snape faces potential race swap as HBO's Harry Potter series reportedly interested in the Lazarus Project star Papa Isidou. Is that how you say that? Isidou? I don't know. To play iconic Slytherin. Okay, so you might notice a few key differences between this guy and
just a couple.
Alan Rickman.
I don't see the big deal. He can shave the beard.
He's a lot younger than Alan Rickman. That's the one I notice. You know what? That's the thing. The first thing I said was, well, at least he's the proper age.
Yeah.
Because by the way, this drawing of Snape that Spencer shared here looks more like Filch in the movies, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, it does.
So Spencer says, in a move that, should it turn out to be more than just an industry rumor, would signal a massive deviation from the network's original promise, they'd be producing a faithful adaptation of the iconic books. A new report suggests that HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series may race swap Severus Snape by casting British actor Papa Isidou as its current version of the Half-Blood Prince. Severus word of Isidou's portrayal of potential sorting into Slytherin, I love the way he writes, was first brought to light on December 4th, courtesy of the Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kitt and James Hibbard. Having apparently learned of this information via multiple sources, the pair further relayed that the Lazarus Project star has been offered the part, although it is not clear if negotiations have begun in earnest. However, in having looked into this matter on his own, Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro reported that per his own research, no formal offer has been made to the actor, nor has his team conversed with HBO Suits about a potential deal. As such, it's currently unclear just how much communication has actually occurred between Isidou and HBO. Further, the Deadline mainstay also claims that to have heard that both Kingsman franchise star Mark Strong and Bridge of Spies star Mark Rylance are circling the role of Dumbledore, headmaster of Hogwarts. See, Mark Strong would have been my pick for Snape.
It's too old, though.
Yeah, again, too old.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? You know what? I actually was just saying to a friend the other day. I think I actually was saying this to you, Kevin Apollo, today. Was that they should cast Dumbledore younger, and by that I mean younger than Dumbledore, not like a young person, but like somebody that around that age, and age them up with makeup so that you don't have a situation where in this show that has to run for a decade, we have to replace Dumbledore's again. So unsurprisingly, at current, HBO is remaining tight-lipped regarding the veracity of this Slytherin-styled scoop. When reached for comment by D'Alessandro, a network spokesman dodged the question, opting instead to offer the democratic answer of, "We appreciate that such a high-profile series will draw a lot of rumor and speculation. As we make our way through pre-production, we will only confirm details as we finalize deals." While Isidou is a distinguished actor in his own right, having starred such films as Murder on the Orient Express and Men, and led stage productions ranging from Shakespeare classic Hamlet to Carol Churchill clone dilemma-centric A Number. Should he be cast as the fan-favorite Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, it would represent a race-swapping of the character compared to the original source material. As described in the series' second entry, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, upon meeting his secret guardian for the first time since being rescued by him, Harry notes that Snape was a thin man with sallow skin. The term sallow referring to skin that is unnaturally or sickly pale, yellow-brown in complexion, often due to health issues. To that end, while some people may try to claim that this means Snape could have had genuinely dark skin at various times throughout the series, the Slytherin is described as having explicitly pale skin. For example, well, I love how like deep Spencer went on this. For example, what?
He's like a dog with a toy that he doesn't want to let go. In the best way, because he's like, that's it. He's on it, and he's just like, he's gonna go and prove every single point now.
Yep. We've all experienced this side of Spencer, haven't we? For example, while lashing out at Snape under the belief that he killed Dumbledore and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the young wizard notes that in response to his attempts to hit the presumed murderer with a Sectum Sempra spell, Snape's pale face, illuminated by the flaming cabin, was suffused with hatred, just as it had been before he had cursed Dumbledore. As such, it's presumed that his sallow appearance is due not to some previously undisclosed ethnic background, but rather his own disregard for both his physical health and personal hygiene. Further, as seen among bonus materials included in the 2008 anniversary edition of Philosopher's Stone, a sketch illustrated by J.K. Rowling herself, circa 1992, clearly depicts Snape as a greasy-haired, stubble-bearing white man. So then she says here, Snape, as I always saw him. This was scribbled back in 1992 or 3. Although I have spent years denying that Snape is a vampire, one of the more outlandish and persistent fan theories, I must say he does look a little Count Dracula-ish in that cloak.
He looks like a Dementor in that picture.
Mm-hmm. He does kind of.
Body.
As noted above, should Isidue end up being picked to play the eternally cold-shouldered potions master, it would represent a significant break in HBO's original promise as made upon their announcement of its production, that the Harry Potter series would be a faithful adaptation of the iconic books. Yeah, guys. Wow. Spencer really nailed this one.
The Spencer's description reminded me of something I experienced when I used to work in a gym. I think I had the flu or something crazy like that back during a time when you could get the flu and still have to go to work. And an aerobics instructor and a member walk into my office, and God bless him. The aerobics instructor goes, "You don't look so good. Are you okay?" And the member goes, "Yeah, you look ashy." And then I start laughing and I go, "I think you mean ashen."
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh my goodness, guys. Man. This I must say, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't think it would, if he's a good actor, at least he's the right age. And one way, Alan Rickman gave such an iconic performance that maybe the best way to go about replacing him is to go so wildly opposite him. No. But it's not what I picture.
No, people want the book. They just want the book. They want the book.
Let the dog eat.
The book.
Let the dog eat, Marv. Get it, Trish. Get it.
They want the book. It's so easy. It's so easy. Just give us the book. Give us the book. This nonsense. Like, let me put it this way. Remember how you saying, Marv, earlier, I mean like weeks ago, you were like, she won't pick an American. They will be British. So you have Adam Driver. I'm not saying he wants to do it. We're just giving an example. Who is perfect, except he's American. And that would be a no-no. But changing the ethnicity of the character entirely, which, by the way, creates a whole host of other problems throughout the course of the story.
That's why, I want to dig into that when you're done with this thought. That's okay. Because
that'd be okay. That's insanity.
Yeah.
funny. I love because Kevin, you're making me want to laugh because I see you laughing at me. It's just that was the first thing I thought. You know?
I just want redhead Hermione.
No,
Is
I
that
understand.
too much to ask for?
And I said this. There's a reason why. When I was in 8th grade, my English teacher used me as an example of the word cynic. I knew this was going to happen. You keep trying to be positive about it, but it's like, I think it's like a built-in defense mechanism I've had my whole life. Just assume they're going to do the worst thing possible. Embrace yourself. So offended he left the conversation.
He's done with you.
Bye. Oh.
Hey, everybody! I'd like to welcome Marvin to the stream. Marvin is a new contributor for us.
I think my connection was starting to go, and I was like, "Well, I'm just going to let Trish continue to go and not draw attention to the fact that I had to pop in and out."
Oh, that was really funny because I was like, offended you so much, you just bolted. It's just I said this, and I know I must sound like a broken record. The cursed child. The cursed child tells you what she would potentially be willing to deal with. And I don't think it's what people who love the books are going to be willing to deal with. I don't understand it. Just do the books. It's so simple. I saw something when someone said, I think it was like the Critical Drinker or someone on there, not him himself. And they were like, it's actually harder to do the wrong thing. It's more work to do the wrong thing.
Right.
And yes,
that makes sense.
We can get into the problems that this will cause down the line with the story because, there's more than one thing.
Well, the Marv and I talked about it earlier today before I couldn't resist the urge to send you the Instagram post.
I hate that you did. I wanted to see if you hadn't sent her that, if we would have broken the news to her on the air.
Oh,
and then she would have like. Oh, okay.
So my cousin sent it to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was sending her everything but then the crack in space time opened up in the DMs, and I was like, might as well just share it.
I think I sent you two the same thing. Just.
You did.
Kevin, you said
you did send me a very long
Yeah.
Kevin, you said the crack in space time. For some reason now, I just have in my head this image of like Alan Rickman as like the Terminator, be like, "Come with me if you want to live."
By the way,
I'm cool.
So I'm reading the books right now, and they're just so good. Like I'm on book, and I haven't read them since I was a kid, and I'm on book 4, and like I forget, like Neville giving him the gillyweed. I always just remembered that happening in the book. It doesn't. It's Dobby, and it gives it to him like a minute before the challenge starts.
Yep.
Like up to like which just furthers my theory of just Harry Potter being the ultimate C- student, and just like he was going into that challenge with no idea how he was going to breathe underwater for an hour.
That was the James in him, just winging it.
Well, and that's one of those places you can see Snape's point about him walking around arrogantly like everything's going to work out for him.
Oh, I agree with Snape all the time in these books. I'm like, he is arrogant. He breaks the rules willy-nilly. He legitimately thinks the rules do not apply to him. Snape is 100% right in the way he treats Harry. He's the only one that sees it.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
The only line in the movies that I think is better than in the books is that part. Well, okay, there's the I won't tell lies thing. That's really good too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part where Hermione is telling Harry that some girl only wants to get with him because he's the chosen one, and he goes, "But I am the chosen one."
Yeah.
Forgot that line.
That right there is the difference between movie Harry and book Harry. That one line encompasses the whole thing. But you forget just how much more of a jerk Snape is in the books.
Oh yeah.
To the point where Barty Crouch Sr. is found in the woods and he's all like wild and raving, and Harry runs to get Dumbledore, and Snape's like, "The headmaster's too busy for you, Potter." It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Which, by the way, when they do this series, I was saying to Kevin earlier, like, it's okay to do like a 10 episode run for seasons 1 through 3. Once they get to season 4, it's got to be a 20 episode season.
Yeah, when is it supposed to debut? Because I was thinking, well, if it's going to be about 2 years, we're pretty much knocking on the 25th anniversary of the first movie, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Which means people are going to be hyper aware.
People act like there are no like black characters in the book, and there are. Like
Dean
there
Thomas.
are plenty of them. Yeah, Dean Thomas, Angelina from the Quidditch team, Kingsley Shacklebolt, who's one of the best oars, who actually has more to do in the books that you could go into.
It's true.
It's just, I don't know. Like, Trish, talk to us a bit about the problems that race bending Snape makes, and how it makes the show like, because my first thing was I was like, so the Marauders are like a group of white kids that just pick on a black kid all the time.
This is all me. This is all me. Unforgivable to me if they would make Sirius Black a racist. And even 1%.
Yeah.
The whole entire thing would be dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone grinds my gears. Because you could say a lot. They were bullies, they were immature, they were blah, blah, blah.
Swine.
Yeah, Snape was a little right about that. I mean, they both were bad to each, or I guess 2 and 1 bad to each other.
Sirius literally tries to kill Snape in the books. He literally tries to feed him to a werewolf.
This is the way I always interpreted that scene.
Sirius is not a good person. I'm sorry.
No. Okay, first of all, back up.
He tried to kill him.
No, this is what I think actually happened. I don't think he even thought about how it could kill him. There was a complete and utter disregard for Snape.
Walk in there with the werewolf that were purposely hiding.
He wasn't thinking about it. He just wasn't.
No.
He did not care. He didn't care. There was complete disregard for Snape. This wasn't, I'm going to murder him. He didn't care.
Severus, put your head in this wood chipper.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about what would happen.
Please. I'm telling you. It was about complete indifference.
Best case scenario, he walks there and gets turned into a werewolf.
I'm not saying that it wasn't a horrible thing, but the way you're making it sound is he was like, how will I let Snape die? And I really don't think he was even thinking, just like, screw that guy, I hate him.
Like, yeah, go in there.
He's impetuous. He's hot-headed and impetuous. That's
Remus
all that
is in
was.
there. Remus is in there. Go say hi to him. And then James is like, you did what?
Yeah, because he didn't think about it. He was just like, he's annoying and I hate him. You want to know so bad? Go there, see what you find, Snape. It had nothing like, I'm going to send him walking to his death. It was not a conscious thing in his brain. It just wasn't.
Trish, all right.
I don't know. That's a little like passing behind a shooting range and telling a person, yeah, use the back door.
No, it's not. Oh my God. I can't. You guys are just trying to get my goat right now, or whatever that phrase is.
Probably, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Martin, I expected better from you, Martin.
Well, we're short on the panel, so I've got to pull double duty.
Stop trying to kill me, Gary Oldman. I don't appreciate it.
Honestly, that scene in Order of the Phoenix becomes way different. I'm just
Which
saying,
scene?
where they're bullying him.
Oh yeah, when they're holding him upside down and trying to take his pants off.
And then like all the talking about pure bloods and med bloods. And come on, he's gonna be a black wizard talking about blood purity. What?
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It doesn't make sense.
Remember, this is Warner Brothers. It's the dumbest company that's ever existed. So they might have just heard Dark Wizard and been like, oh, okay.
I would say the only thing that gives me a little hope is that David Zaslav does not play woke games.
Yes.
He has no time for
never
it.
hope so.
In a company that is worth negative dollars, I'm feeling like he's going, this is going to work or someone's going to die.
Is it worth negative dollars? Because I can swing that.
I just...
Kev, back me up on this one, though. Severus might be a black kid name.
Oh, probably. I'm sure. Yeah, with a Z.
Yeah.
Severus Shaft.
Severus.
Yeah. Are there any characters that you guys think could be race swapped and it wouldn't really affect the story? Like I was saying before, I'm like, I could even see them doing McGonagall. Like that wouldn't affect the story at all. I think it's just because of Snape's story, like story beats.
Here's the thing.
Malfoy's black.
Here's the thing. No, because they'd be evil, and they'd be talking about blood purity.
That badass. I could rock that cape and cane.
You could buy that cane, Noble Collection. I want you to do it.
It's actually, you could buy it at Universal Studios.
Probably more money there.
Is there a hidden wand inside of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
I was gonna say, I think there is.
There is.
Listen, I know what way you mean that about who can you change and it doesn't make a big deal. But when the entire point for everyone has been, we want the books. You can't change anything. You can't. It doesn't matter if it's like Katie Bell that they changed. People are gonna be like, Katie Bell wasn't black. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
of course.
There's no wiggle room on this one. There's just not. Then becomes a half-blood prince. Yeah, dragon tamer.
Yeah. He becomes the half-blood prince. Like, oh man.
Well, you know the other thing too. Thinking of annoying bored Blue Sky users. What do you do when we're going through the story and someone realizes that this nerdy black kid is simping for the happy-go-lucky white girl he could never ever get with, and he gets bullied all the time? It's like, I don't want to have to hear them.
What if he becomes the half-blood artist formerly known as Prince?
Don't bring him into this.
Sign.
How dare you besmirch the name?
Well, hold on.
One Prince Nelson.
He would die for Lily.
It took me a second. I got there.
Well, okay, but let's think of the cascade effect that could make Black Snape appropriate. So Snape is black, but you want to make sure that the Marauders aren't super racist. So now Lily's black.
That makes Harry black.
Which makes Harry half black.
Yeah.
And calling him a half-blood.
Yeah. They could not possibly make Harry Potter black, because the way Harry Potter looks is so iconic.
He would look like Rod from What's Happening.
Yeah.
He'd look like Urkel.
He would.
He would.
He would look like Urkel.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
We'll give the chat time to Google it.
Yeah.
for those of you born after a certain decade.
I assume Nolan's just sitting there like, okay, whatever that means. And then he's going to be following around what is supposed to essentially be an Austrian painter.
Just Ron in the rerun hat.
My God, he's so good.
It's ridiculous that we even have to.
We're going to the Doobie Brothers.
The best episode.
It's ridiculous that we even have to think about this, because there was a time when it used to be Star Wars, but that's not the case anymore. But Harry Potter is probably the biggest casting call you could ever do, because almost everybody's seen Harry Potter. It doesn't matter what age, background, gender, whatever. Everybody knows it, and people would love to play these characters. You could have your pick of just people of a certain height that will look close to these actors that were in the movies and stuff, and people will recognize and love. Because how often, outside of, say, Psycho 2, can you think of how many times there were actually like remakes, in quotation marks, because reboot's the more hot thing to do now, that the complaint was it was too similar to the original?
Wait, are you talking about the Gus Van Sant one?
I think the one I think they did in the 80s, I think.
The one with Vince Vaughn in it?
I have to double check. It's the one they did in color. I'm sorry. So the Psycho 1 remake. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gus Van Sant, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, that was the actual main complaint. Was that it was entirely too similar.
It was Anne Heche. Yeah, it was a shot-for-shot remake.
Except the end, right? Didn't the very end change where something about the guy not saving her or something? I can't remember now.
Yeah, and some of the things they do the shots are not exactly the
same. Yeah.
And I was way off in the years. That was like 1998. My bad. I was
gonna
way
say
off in the release.
I was gonna say Nolan, like I'm old. I'm not that old.
Because in the 80s they were making like Psycho 2 and Psycho 3.
But you think about it, like when in the past, they decided to cast characters, and have the same vibe or similar feel of them. I mean, of course, the James Bond actors don't look like each other, but they stayed kind of true to what happened prior, and people rolled with it. Is it that much daring to be like, hey, let's adapt the books and we'll make all the characters look one for one like the movie? Because I don't remember people complaining about when it came to the movies at all about how characters looked. Acted, yes. Scenes, yes. Looks, I can't think of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of any criticisms to that.
Yeah.
There are times where it, like, again, I think we talked about this last week, with Michael Clark Duncan playing the Kingpin in the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Right.
With the exception of King Kong Bundy, you were never going to find a human being large enough to play the Kingpin. So like you just kind of rolled with it because there were, or I think a better example is Perry White and Jimmy Olsen. I always go, it doesn't matter what color you make them. They were radio characters, and Jimmy Olsen only looks the way he does in the comics because DC wanted to grift off of the Archie money. So
right,
you have more freedom to play with how they look, and it doesn't impact the story, and no one cares. But if you're going to go race bend Lois or Clark or even Lex, now you're opening up a can of worms that no one wants to deal with. It's like why you had the problem with Fan Four Stick. Why is Johnny Storm black and Sue not? It's like they got to go one way or the other. You can't, don't sprinkle your nonsense into the story. Just tell the bloody story.
Guys, I have to interject for a second because John Coleman just said in the chat, you could race swap Quirrell, and that's raising a whole lot of implications for me. That Voldemort would then be on the back of a black guy's head. And so Voldemort would now technically be black, but like he's not normally, so he'd start acting black on the back of Quirrell's head. Quirrell, I'm allowed to say it now. I'm allowed to say it with the hard R.
How would you cut him into his hair like it was the 90s haircut? It was technically the 90s,
like a fade.
Yes.
Yeah, so you get the really high fade and then the etched snake man face.
Quirrell, let's get a weave, my lord. That's typically for women. Let's do it. For shizzle.
How hard is it?
Plan. You will listen to them now. You put all your faith in Wu-Tang.
They're nothing to F with, I hear.
Oh, come on, Trish. It takes place in 91.
My lord, we must be cautious. We must be cautious. Dumbledore could be on to our plot. They're always trying to keep a brother down, aren't they? My lord, this is getting tiresome.
It's hammer time. Silence.
It sounds kind of like your Joker voice.
I'm trying to do a snaky voice.
I'm
doing like the Harry Potter musical voice.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
Yes. I'd watch that.
He starts talking all the years of black oppression. My lord, we've been in this situation for 2 months. I'm just saying, Quirrell. The time's up. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. But Lord, that was so hard.
Joker. I'm just picturing a little Mark Hamill head.
Mark Hamill is Voldemort. I can see, actually.
Didn't Ray Fiennes say he wanted to do it? If they would have him do it, I could have sworn he said that when they first.
I'm ready for another interpretation of Voldemort. I don't.
Oh, I'm not saying I want it, but I'm just saying, didn't he say that? That he was like, I'd do it again.
Yeah, Dice got it. I knew it was the Harry Potter musical voice.
That was Joker.
I'm trying to. Quirrell, stand in front of the mirror and turn your head. I want to see how big it is.
What's going on? How did we get here?
Where are the white women at?
He just got New Jack promos.
I think Marv is a little delirious.
I drove for 12 hours today, and now I'm just dying of a black Voldemort.
It was worth it. It was worth
The
it.
Americans call it New Jack City. Let's watch.
Let's watch it. So yeah. Long story short, no.
Instead of when Harry tries to run away, instead of going, stop him, he goes, stop that little cracker. Get that hunky. My lord. I'm really starting to get offended.
I can't right now.
Ricky.
Oh my god.
Poison the Hut.
See, we fixed it, guys. We found the race. You just race swap Quirrell, and everything is better in Harry Potter.
He has to say something about having the juice now, man.
You've got the juice now, man.
Love that movie.
Well, Marvin, can you give me the gun tray?
Give me the gun tray.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
But then it would have to just get to the point where Quirrell is just getting progressively more and more sick of it as the movie goes on, as the series goes on. You would have to like not do the reveal at the end. You would have to like have it go the way Harry Potter musical is, like through the entire thing.
I'm sorry. Boys in the Hood sent me. I'm sorry. Sorry. I can't. I'm just giggling about that one.
But what if he keeps making outdated references like Electric Avenue or Passaducci on the left-hand side?
Something my new edition.
Is Hathaway too early for 91?
I think by a couple years, yeah. He could probably do it if he was on Quirrell's head in like book 3 or 4.
He starts with cutting Silky Johnson promos on Harry Potter. I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate your guts. Oh. Okay.
This alone is why they shouldn't do it. Look at all the things that we're saying. I'm taking it seriously
okay.
at all.
As long as Kev continues to laugh, we can keep making this joke. He's like the Robin Quivers of this show, only he contributes and is funny.
Marv.
Otherwise,
you're right, Howard.
This whole thing is like the butterfly effect, but with race. It needs its own name.
Somewhere JK is sitting in her kitchen going, Americans, and she doesn't know why.
Bloody Americans.
Listen, this is the risk you run with this kind of thing.
Harry Potter. Lightning bolt scar on your head. I'm just trying to think of like Silky Johnson, like things that he can say to Harry. Okay, we probably need to move on to our next story because I'm getting a little
Your knees are looking ashy. Where's the Vaseline?
My lord, I don't think you know how it sounds when you say it. I know how it sounds. Oh my goodness.
I feel like I have a lot to catch up on in the chat. My name's lighting up in orange now because I got going. So
where's your big clock? I'm not getting a sense for your flavor.
Why are we wearing this turban and not a Viking helmet? Oh, good lord.
Martin,
all right.
The thing you said about the suggestion, I can't find it. What is it?
Oh, Aldo's journal at like 9:31 suggested Cynthia Erivo as Voldemort.
Snake woman.
Oh,
a Cobra Law agent.
You know,
no.
Aldo's journal. bring her into this.
Putting my head on the back of that man's head, putting my face in the back of that man's head is the wildest, most offensive thing I've ever seen in my life.
I am only the second dark wizard to have put my head on the back of another person's head under a turban. And it means so much.
By the way, if you guys have never seen a Harry Potter musical, it's worth it to even just go watch the Voldemort scenes. I'm sure there's a compilation video out there somewhere. The Voldemort and Quirrell scenes are so funny. Trish, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. All right, Mr. Jamie Jam for $1.99. Ian Flynn wrote Sonic Frontiers 2, my favorite. I beat Sonic Frontiers this year for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. Nolan, you play Sonic Frontiers?
Yes, I didn't have enough time to get much too far into it, but what I played, I liked. I thought it was a good little revamp for the series.
Yeah.
I think it needed it after Forces.
For sure. Forces is terrible. I tried to play Forces this year also, and I was like, ugh, what am I playing?
Together!
I liked Frontiers a lot, and I really liked the music selection. That you could basically choose any song from any Sonic. I could run around to the Sonic Heroes theme, which I love.
I love that about Generations. I would do that all the time in the game.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
So
I would love to see a Sonic movie take place in Las Vegas, and we get the Casino Night Zone.
Yes.
Ooh.
I love the Casino Night Zone. The only problem in Sonic Frontiers was there is a point in time where you had to play pinball forever. Do you remember that, Nolan?
I didn't get to that spot, unfortunately.
Oh, toward the end, you have to play pinball to progress the story, and it takes forever. I hated it.
Madman greenlit that. That sounds awful.
I don't know. I was like, I didn't buy Sonic Pinball for a reason. James T gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships. Thank you very much, James T. Also, for $5, I believe Australian, I'm wondering how Hogwarts Legacy 2 and the new series is going to work together. They did say that they are going to work together with it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Which, if that's
Work
the case,
together.
it means that Hogwarts is going to look mostly the same. Which I'm glad. 'Cause I'm like, don't change the way Hogwarts looks, because Hogwarts already looks perfect.
Yes, it does. It looks absolutely perfect. They did everything with such care and attention to detail in that game, at least as far as Hogwarts went.
Are you able to go to the kitchens? Because in
as a
Goblet of
Hufflepuff,
Fire,
I think. Well, I know in if you're a Gryffindor, your one little house specific thing involves you getting what's the word I'm thinking of? Rotten meat for nearly headless Nick to take to the
Death Day
actual
celebration?
headless. Yeah, no, the ones with the headless hunt. I'm sorry, I'm
Okay.
mentally in two places.
Help me with that.
Yeah, I mean, you do that, so you have to go into the kitchens to get them, and then
Is it all house elves working in there?
Yeah, and I think you can go in anyway because I think you have to do Revelio and get a few pages for your book in there. So I think at some point you have to make it in there anyway.
They go in there; they're in there constantly to the point where Hermione tries to give the rousing rise up speech to the house elves, and they're like, "Get this girl out of here."
Yeah, no, they're just working away. Happy little elves. I think one of them is stomping on grapes.
That's so funny.
Wait a second. Voldemort doing a whole bit about how Hufflepuffs be dancing like this.
Oh my god! Oh, we're all going. Luke Kaufeld for $5 says, "Who would win, Kevin's father or the Mad Goose Wizard?" Does he mean Mad Eye Moody? Because I think your father would beat Mad Eye Moody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
he'd be way more prepared.
I'm pretty sure Kevin's father is undefeated every time this question comes up. Is there anything that can beat Kevin's father?
We'll see if Darkseid ever comes up.
Ooh.
John Cummins says Harry Potter is the half-black prince.
Of Bel-Air.
It's a mushroom stamp scar now.
Damn it, Kevin. He just slyly he said of Bel-Air at the end of it.
Blood Prince of Bel-Air.
He just says it. Just puts it out there.
In Hogwarts Castle, born and raised. On the Quidditch pitch is where I spent most of my days.
I want to see him get in a fight with James Potter now. Seeing that filmed like the 90s video.
Now we have to write the Half-Blood Prince of Bel-Air now. We have to write that song parody. Yes. When a couple of guys who were up to no good, and it's the Marauders. John Williams from 499 says a bear beat Kev's dad. Why do you think he hates them? No. That doesn't happen. Kev's dad defeats all bears. It's Kevin is annoyed because the bear minorly inconveniences him by turning over his garbage can.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the feud. That's the beauty of that feud.
My father, because he had nothing to do for Thanksgiving, decided to go camping in the woods for 5 days and didn't tell anybody.
Did he really?
And then sent a random text like, yeah, the deer aren't really out. It's too cold. And we're like, yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I went out into the property by myself. My brother went out and got property in upstate New York. He's supposed to do whatever with it. God only knows. And then he just sits out there by himself with him and his dog. And I'm like, why are you living like it's a post-apocalypse?
Gotta get ready for it, right?
I just see he's Kane from Kung Fu right now, and I don't know why.
Oh, it's so great. That's so great. All right. We got another story here about so this is more of a story so there are rumors currently that Johnny Depp might return to the Pirates franchise. But on that Park Place, we have an article up that kind of pokes some holes in this story because I personally don't think it's going to happen. I think Johnny Depp's going to stick to his so is Johnny Depp really considering a return to Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean franchise by Rick Frazier? The recent buzz about Johnny Depp possibly returning to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise's Captain Jack Sparrow has set the internet aflame with speculation. Yet, despite the flurry of headlines, there is a compelling argument to be made that this isn't really news at all. So let's break it down. According to Variety, House of Mouse is eyeing none other than Johnny Depp for one more swaying stroll in Captain Jack Sparrow's boots. Depp is far from a lock at the moment, though. Disney dropped the actor like a hot potato in 2018 in the wake of the Amber Heard domestic abuse allegations. However, the ensuing defamation trial ended in Depp's victory in 2022, which may have made him more presentable in Disney's eyes, though not necessarily vice versa. Now, first and foremost, it's crucial to understand how the movie industry operates, particularly with long-running franchises. Studios often juggle multiple versions of a script during the development phase, especially for high-stakes tentpole properties like Pirates. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer's involvement in supervising 2 different scripts for the next Pirates film, only one of which has a role for Captain Jack Sparrow, is par for the course in Hollywood. Why have multiple scripts and script options? It's a contingency plan, a way for the studio to remain flexible depending on casting, budget, or creative direction. These dual script scenarios are common, especially for franchises that have to balance fan expectations with studio priorities. And the fact that one script accommodates Sparrow doesn't automatically mean that Disney has reached out to Depp or that he's on the verge of signing a contract. It simply reflects a willingness to keep their options open. The rumors about Depp's potential involvement stem from a report by Variety, which, right away, which emphasized that nothing has been ruled out. While this leaves the door ajar for Depp's return, it's hardly a confirmation. Let's not forget that Disney distanced itself from the actor in 2018 amidst Amber Heard's abuse allegations. Even though Depp's 2022 legal victory in his defamation trial against Heard may have shifted public opinion, there's been no official statement from Disney to suggest that they are actively pursuing him for the role. And Depp hasn't exactly been warm to Disney either. Public sentiment seems to be with the Captain Jack actor. Now, here's the tweet. It says, from April 20th, 2022, Johnny Depp says Disney didn't notify him that he was being fired from Pirates of the Caribbean. He found out from a magazine article. Disney bows to cancel culture and couldn't bother to tell Gina Carano or Johnny Depp to their face. Cowards. Depp also said Disney didn't remove Captain Jack Sparrow from the theme park rides or stop selling the dolls. They didn't stop selling anything. He also said that even if they gave him $300 million, he would not go back to work for Disney. Depp himself has not indicated any interest in reprising the role. In fact, during his legal battles, the actor expressed disillusionment with Disney's decision to sever ties with him. Sentiment raises questions about whether he would even entertain a return to the franchise, regardless of the studio's position. It makes for a tantalizing headline, but it does not reflect concrete news, and that's important to note here. Both Disney and Depp remain non-committal, in the existence of a Sparrow-inclusive script merely signals that the character hasn't been completely written off. not that plans are in motion. This type of news, in quotes, illustrates how Hollywood's iterative development process with its many drafts, pitches, and potential casting scenarios often gets mistaken for actionable progress. Until there's an official announcement from Disney or a clear statement from Depp, the rumors amount to little more than industry chatter. Ultimately, Pirates of the Caribbean is at a crossroads after years of diminishing critical and commercial returns. Disney is undoubtedly strategizing how best to revitalize the series. Whether that involves Johnny Depp remains to be seen. But what's certain is that no decision has been made, and the speculation surrounding Depp's potential return says more about the media's appetite for drama than it does for the future of pirates. In the end, this is not a story about concrete plans. It's a story about possibilities. Guys, do you think there is a chance that Johnny Depp ever comes back?
I suppose it's like, everybody's got a praise, as famous man of $1 million once said. But I get the feeling he's going to stick to his guns on this.
Me too.
And he should. And I also think that if and when he does stick to his guns about not doing it, they should just permanently scrap any idea for another Pirates movie. It would just be a giant money pit for them. They would not get their money back. People have made it very clear that it's Captain Jack Sparrow that they like, that they want Johnny Depp in the part, or they don't care. And if they went ahead with it anyway, they would literally be just going and not listening to what everybody has been saying since he got fired from it.
Yep.
There was a rumor for a while there that they were going to reboot with a female pirate captain. Then another rumor that there was going to be a Johnny Depp one. Then a third rumor that they were going to kind of combine the two. That's, I think, the way you get him back. You combine the two. You make the female pirate captain his daughter, cast his actual daughter, and he'll do the movie.
If they put Lily Rose, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think you're right. Nolan, what were you going to say?
I can do better. Cast the other pirate captain as Amber Heard and have him stab her off the break of a ship and have her go into the ocean.
I look, Hollywood is dying to bring her back into the fold, aren't they?
I don't.
They'll be making all sorts of poop deck jokes.
Well done.
Oh God, yeah.
Well
that was the day in the trial, watching Johnny Depp dance around trying to say that it was a human-sized poop, trying to be like polite about it, because they're like, well, how do you know your dogs couldn't do it? And he's basically like, I have a teacup Yorkie. This was not the poo of a teacup Yorkie. And it was just very funny. They didn't be like, how do I say this and not be improper? That trial was something else, man. I kind of miss it a little bit.
There was a bee.
And then remember the one time that someone on the stand was like, this is something about Marlon Brando, and he's like, isn't Marlon Brando dead? And they just cut to Johnny Depp like this. That was perfect.
I would really enjoy if Johnny Depp does not, as much as, look, here's the thing. Captain Jack Sparrow was ruined in the last Pirates movie. I mean, he's been ruined in the last couple, but because they made him just a bumbling buffoon. In the first three, Captain Jack Sparrow is silly and funny and wacky and out there, but there's these moments of that's the greatest pirate that's ever lived. And you don't have that in like there's that moment in the third one where he like escapes from Cutler Beckett's ship, and they're like, do you think he plans it out or does he make it all up as he goes along? There's none of that in the movies that follow the third one. He's just a clumsy idiot, and his survival all amounts to luck.
That moment in the first one where they begrudgingly admit he is the best pirate I've ever seen. It's great.
That's got to be the greatest pirate I've ever seen. When they steal the ship and they disable the larger ship, it's perfect. It's perfect because he is the ultimate pirate, and you don't get that from the later movies. So he's already just kind of been destroyed. But I would like Johnny Depp. I think this is a lesson that Disney has to learn. You went all in, backing an abusive horror show in Amber Heard, and it got proven in a court of law. And now you're not going to be able to throw money at a situation to make it better. Johnny Depp has got enough money where he doesn't need your money. He's already got way more money than him or his direct descendants could ever spend.
Owns an island.
Yeah. When you've got island money, like
island money.
Johnny Depp net worth.
I do think he hit a rough patch with his money. Maybe it's a rough patch for rich Hollywood people compared to us.
About 150 million right now.
Okay.
I've looked into buying an island. It's not the buying of the island that's the hard part. It's the getting anything built on the island.
Yeah. That's
Okay, so it says that he's 150 million net worth right now, but was at one time worth over 650 million.
Yeah. See, I knew there was something where he lost a lot of money.
Do we need to do a Kickstarter for him?
Yeah, I think we should.
Are we gonna get him? Are we gonna get him like that toilet that the guy who owns like Virgin Airlines has, like on his island, where there's no walls around it?
Richard
it's
Branson.
Open. Richard Branson. Sorry, him.
he's got.
That'll be a Kickstarter goal.
Like on Scrubs, when the janitor builds the roof toilet.
Sure. Yes, like that.
You don't remember
I know
the roof toilet?
No, and I've seen it. But
it was like a whole thing where Michael J. Fox couldn't handle sitting on the roof toilet because of his OCD.
I feel like I haven't watched that show in a long time, and I have a bunch of it's probably going to be like new to me. Yeah,
you got to watch it again.
Yeah, I own it.
It's one of my favorite shows. If you own it on DVD, then you have all the original music, which is wonderful. I read today that Scrubs is actually doing a like Bill Lawrence has put the Scrubs reunion into like full steam ahead.
Really?
Nice.
I guess now that I think now that after Ted Lasso was such a hit, I'm pretty sure studios are just like, now Bill Lawrence can do whatever he wants to do, and if what he wants to do is bring back his old show, then he can do it.
Like maybe it's like a caveat to him signing on to something else. Like, all right, but you got to let me do the Scrubs reunion. And they're like, okay,
Well, I believe Disney owns Scrubs, if I'm not mistaken.
Disney owns everything. So,
it was ABC, right?
It was
no.
NBC
The show aired on
the
show aired on NBC.
But
I thought it was ABC Studios.
Yeah, it was an ABC Studios show, I believe.
Yeah, so that's probably it's going to be like Disney, right?
Yeah.
I had a doctor tell me once that Residency is more like Scrubs than any other TV show.
Just like Cops said Barney Miller was the most accurate portrayal.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Me and you with those references, Martin.
Yeah, no, a doctor friend of mine told me that like Scrubs was the most accurate medical show on TV. Like especially like when the code happens and like the interns like run and hide in the closet.
It's kind of funny that the comedies are the ones that are closer than the dramas,
Well, because the dramas are trying to create such high drama that they have to go, like House had to go to such ridiculous lengths to do anything.
The insanity of things you can kind of touch on, like the ridiculous stuff you tell stories about. You can do those in comedies better.
All right. So, Kevin Apollo, do you think Johnny Depp makes a comeback to Pirates of the Caribbean franchise?
I don't think so. But I would say I hope so. I think I would say like they're desperate, so they'll give him whatever amount of money he wants. And frankly, I say he deserves it. And I hope he bullies them into giving them a ridiculous amount of money. Slash, he likes being Jack Sparrow. So
I was just gonna say that.
Give him something that he can go out, on a nice high note with if he doesn't ever want to do it again. And let's just give the guy a happy ending and go on.
If he wants to do it. I don't think he wants to do it. I mean, after what he said and how they treated him, I could totally see him doing that. So moving on to Star Wars. Has anyone here watched Skeleton Crew other than me?
I didn't even know it was out.
Martin, did you watch it?
No, not yet. Haven't had a chance.
Kevin, you said you finished it, right?
Yeah, I finished them both. Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I found it to be quite charming.
I was like, what's happening? I like it. And this is the show that everyone's like, oh, this is the show Lucasfilm hates. Well, and I'm like, that makes sense. That makes sense because it's good and enjoyable. And it looks like the girl boss, the brunette girl boss, is going to learn a lesson that being like that is not the way to be in life. Because that was ticking me off in the beginning. Now on Pro's show, I gave it a 6. I gave the 2 episodes a 6 out of 10. And that was because I'm still a little too hurt from Star Wars that I'm unwilling to throw my optimism fully behind the show. But I think the concept of a space flight society existing and then being thrust into the Star Wars galaxy is a fascinating thing.
I gotta say, Marvin, with your point about how you're still hurt on Star Wars, I think that's what's going to hurt the whole show in the long run, because it sounds like from everything I'm hearing that this show is actually pretty darn good compared to Star Wars standards lately. It's kind of refreshing.
A lot of people do like it, yeah.
But I don't feel like my first exposure to this, and I'd like to think I'm not too ignorant to this sort of thing, but I saw that there had been a whole stream the other day and it wrapped up the Pro was doing. And I'm like, Lucasfilm's probably putting like hardly any budget into promoting this thing, so it's probably going to bomb really hard because people are so sour by the Acolyte, and Lucasfilm probably doesn't like it.
Here's a wild thing, because even if you've seen a trailer, you know how expensive this show looks. It's $100 million less than the Acolyte, and I don't understand how it's possible.
Wait, with all the creature effects and everything?
Yes. One of my favorite things is when we go into the elephant people, who, by the way, appropriate that we showed the Dumbo Circus theme song last week, because the one character looks like Dumbo Circus. So they go into the house and like the little baby elephants are like watching like a baby video, and it's the holiday special. They're watching like a dance sequence from, it's a dance sequence from the Star Wars holiday special.
Like I am shocked because I legit thought my fan theory was that George Lucas had like some sort of clause in that contract that basically said never mention the holiday special.
Well, I mean, that's already not happening because there's Life Day merchandise everywhere in Disney World.
There was a rumor that George Lucas
Life Day mug.
Oh, yeah, I know where
you can get robes.
What?
What we saying, Martin?
There was a rumor that George Lucas flirted with the idea of remastering the holiday special and putting it on the Blu-ray release of the prequel.
Like, you can't make it good. Like, it's impossible.
I don't know. Lorne made it sound pretty entertaining last stream with his Wookiee impersonations.
So Lorne has a very interesting theory about Skeleton Crew, and he shared it with me privately. I'm gonna wait until he's here next week to talk about it, because it's a really good theory, and I honestly think he might be right about it. But the show is good enough where I'm just like, man, all right, I'm in, and I'm actually kind of excited to see where it goes. But
was the theory about Jude Law?
No, but we all said on Pro Stream that there's no way Jude Law is actually a Jedi. Like, none of us think he's a Jedi. But I will also say that as much as Star Wars might give me hope with Skeleton Crew, will The Acolyte get a second season? Star Wars star hints that canceled Leslie Headland series could return.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is this just one of those things that they do sometimes to be like, let me put it out there's a teaser, and then when people get excited, they'll have to repick it up, and it's just like, no one cares.
I think so, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to see what we think here. And there, by the way, is our good friend Amandla Same Face, making that same face that she always makes. The woman who played two characters with one facial expression. It's actually pretty impressive when you think about it. Will The Acolyte get a second season? Well, Deadline confirmed that Lucasfilm had canned the widely panned Leslie Headland show. Series actor Manny Jacinto believes there's still a chance that it could return. Speaking at a Collider panel at the San Francisco Fan Expo, Jacinto, who plays the Stranger / Khmer in the series, was asked about the brief appearance of Darth Plagueis in the show's final episode. Specifically, he was asked whether there was a connection with his character and the Emperor's long-dead Sith Master. Oh, man, that's a tough question, Jacinto said. I was about to try to do it as his character from The Good Place, but I don't have that in me tonight. They're not connected. They're definitely not. Like, oh man, how do I answer that? What time is it? There are definitely a lot of different theories, like who he is, because we never actually know his true identity. Is Kamir's name actually Kamir? Then he goes on to dangle a carrot in front of the show's minuscule fan base, who have been extremely vocal since its cancellation, but clearly don't exist in enough volume to justify a return. We definitely wanted to explore it, Jacinto said. There was definitely going to be more of Plagueis in the second, if not the third season of the show. Oh, God forbid.
I was optimistic.
Yeah. But I just can't say because, we could come back. I don't want to spoil anything or give anybody any false hope, but I would just say there's a lot more to explore for sure. Now, before the show's dozens of fans start to dance in the treetop village with the Ewoks, but not to the Yub Nub song, it seems from this quote as though Jacinto is merely speaking in a what if or anything can happen scenario. No one else involved with the production, which came from the mind of Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant Leslie Headland, has offered any hope of the show's return. The Acolyte costs upwards of $230 million to make, and then our own Jonas J. Campbell confirmed that by examining, tax information from the UK. And those costs likely ballooned to over $250 million with marketing added in. The show's viewership numbers failed to justify the high price tag. Simply put, they were abysmal, with season finale numbers coming in 41% below that of Ahsoka and 50% lower than Andor, the one nobody watched, both of which were considered commercial disappointments. But despite this very realistic and rational explanation for the show's cancellation after just one season, the actors associated with Headland's vision have a whole different explanation. Racism.
Da, da,
she is.
da.
Mama, yes. Of course, we remember what they said. We don't have to go back into it. But guys, am I right? Was I right when I said here he's clearly just speaking in a what if scenario? Like he's trying to make a headline here, and it worked because I wrote a headline about it. But
how long will it be till this show ends up like a lot of those other canceled shows? It'll get a sequel and a comic book that no one will read.
Poor Buffy and Angel.
I know. Hey, Angel After the Fall is actually very good. I mean, this show cost so much money and did nothing but destroy Star Wars, any goodwill Star Wars had with the fan base. Any goodwill that was left was destroyed by the Acolyte. And I think that, as Lauren has said multiple times, the Acolyte spooked them. The reaction to the Acolyte was so strong and so negative that it terrified them. It 100% terrified them. Kevin Apollo, your thoughts?
I think this is just a outrage marketing attempt. They know that this thing's a stinker, but the more they keep bringing it up, the more life they can pump into its desiccated corpse.
Mm-hmm. I think they keep saying things like this, Kev, because they want to. They're hoping to generate a swell of yes.
Yeah, but it's not there.
It's not happening.
It's not there. The blue sky weirdos are too busy talking about other things other than the Acolyte. It's no one cares.
Sorry, I meant a swell of
yes.
Yes.
God, I hate her so much. Sorry, Kev. Go ahead. I had to get.
That. I get it. I was wondering why you hadn't done it sooner.
Yeah. I forgot that I had it in the chamber. I haven't used that one in a while. But I do believe I have a quote from their fans.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
There, though. Are there? What do you need?
And by the way, also exactly what I said when I read this headline.
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
Every morning around 6:30 when I tell my daughter she's got to get out of bed.
That's what she does.
I just, dude. Well, what she didn't even have enough content for an entire first season, let alone 2 or 3.
And she liked to play it. She liked to play it off so much where she was just like, "Oh, I don't know about another season," but like she was counting on a second season, right?
110%. She's off doing something else anyway. And listen, other than Darth Plagueis doing his best Mr. Roper impression at the end of the show, who cares?
Excellent reference. What's going on in here? I'm sorry, I did Mr. Furley.
We're gonna go do weird dark side stuff. That was it. They shouldn't just put Norman Fell in there. But I don't know. Does anybody care enough about the Acolyte that we're actually having this conversation right now?
I mean, I care about it because people like to watch content about it.
Well, yeah, also it generated great success for us. So I guess in that sense, hey,
yes,
I know what you mean.
Acolyte seasons 1 through 40.
Mm-hmm. Look, I signed the petition to get a second season because I was like, please.
Somewhere, Lauren, his eye is twitching and he doesn't know why. He's talking about more seasons of the show.
Oh,
Americans.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, guys, I don't think that. Martin, what do you think?
I don't know. The Disney makes so many bad decisions. This could very well be one of them.
That's the thing. Like they could misconstrue a little bit of online noise from dozens of people into being like, well, people really want to see the show come back, and Kathleen Kennedy wants it to come back. So
did we learn nothing from Morbius coming back into theaters?
Yes, Nolan, we learned nothing. We learned nothing. We get nothing.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
You stole fizzy Lipton drinks.
I love it so
Grandpa
much.
Joe was a blight on humanity.
Of course he was. But guys, if we are talking about the Acolyte, there's one clip I do have to play.
If you only knew the power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
No! Olsen, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. That's pretty much, let's see. We got a couple more super chats, I believe. Do we have a couple more super chats?
I think I
saw John Williams for $4.99. If Depp does return, gonna make them do some kind of huge public apology, such as donating to a male abuse charity. Oh, could you imagine Disney donating to a male abuse charity? I could not imagine that.
And not misconstruing donating and pledging as the same thing. Amber.
Yeah. Martin, you were gonna say something?
Well, I had a question. Is that abused males or males who abuse?
Abused males.
That
I would
seems
say.
Fitting.
Yeah. But they're not gonna, they wouldn't do that. My favorite super chatter. All booty bees and bacon with big B's for $2. Rachel Zegler as Hermione will be so funny.
Stop it.
Do it.
No.
Do it, you cowards. Do it.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Do you want to see me cry? Is this what you guys want?
Do you really want to hurt her?
Do you really want to make her cry? Yeah. I'm really tired.
Appreciate that. No, I appreciated it. I'm not, and I'm like...
I'm so tired. Oh gosh. All right, guys. I think we have to wrap it here for this week. Thank you to our wonderful panel. Thank you to everybody who commented today, everyone who watched, everyone who super chatted. We appreciate you and your generosity, whether you were generous with your money or your time or both. We appreciate everything that you guys do, and welcome to all of our new members that joined here tonight. I believe we probably got like something like 30 new members tonight, so probably more. So thank you guys very much for all that. And for members, just remember Monday at 3 p.m. We didn't do one this week because I was away, but Monday at 3 p.m. we will be doing our members only live stream, so make sure you're going to be present for that. Nolan Thunder, where can folks find out more about what you're up to?
Well, you can find me over on my channel at Nolan Thunder. I actually put out a video for once. Yeah, I put out a new trailer for.
What's it on?
It's a little mini trailer for the next episode of Lost in Files I have coming out on the 1990s experimental AI that was put into a Mario game that may have had some more morbid and disturbing effects on the players and those who got to play it. So if you like creepy video game documentaries where I talk to the camera and have creepy 80s synthesizer music and all sorts of fun things, please check out my series. It should be coming out here. Okay, I'm not gonna say release date, but it's in development and it's being expedited, so it's coming. I promise you that.
Fantastic, Nolan. Martin Stone, where can folks find out more about everything you're up to?
Well, I'm not up to much, but when I am up to something, I'm either here or I'm over on That Park Place doing The Lost Guys with Nolan Thunder and Hangry Table.
And I believe you have a an article that's going to be coming out on That Park Place this week, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Well, if anybody would know, it would be you, Marvin.
It would probably be me, yeah.
I wrote an article. I enjoy doing that, looking to get more into it again, and it's all about our dystopian tech overlords.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to publishing that one.
It's a horror story. Got it.
It's a true story, is what it is, Trish.
I know, it's a horror story.
Those are the scariest ones.
Okay. Trish, what are you up to these days? Where folks find out more about what you're doing, aka plug our members' content?
Yeah. Go be a member if you want to see more of this, which you got a little taste of tonight, but only way more somber and dark.
Yes, we are doing next week. We are doing a third episode of Crime and Punishment, our true crime podcast, where Trish tells me about the worst that humanity has to offer, and we don't mock it because it's horrifying, but
No,
but it's you and me, so we rip on each other.
You rip on me mostly.
Well, I'm inviting you to do it back. It's not my fault that you don't do it.
I can't help being so nice,
Kevin Apollo, where can folks find out more about what you are up to?
I guess just follow me on the Twitters at my old.
Which
Kevin
one
Apollo
right
Twitter.
now?
The one that is allowed to function, but it's still super duper shadow banned.
Right.
That got Santa Slam 3 Winter Breakout on November 28th, which will have a birthday party. One of our female managers, the Jersey Jewel. It's her birthday, and if you ever watch wrestling, you know that birthday parties and weddings don't go well. So
no, they do not.
It's certainly true. Going to happen during this happy birthday event. Other than that, I meant to mention this earlier. I thought I thought of Nolan and Martin as I was watching it. So yesterday, I watched this movie called Rumpelstiltskin, which is a horror movie from the 90s. Heard of this. And while I'm watching it, I'm like, wait, I know who's playing Rumpelstiltskin. It was Rom from Deep Space Nine. Max, whatever. I cannot say his last name. And then I'm like, then there was a shameless A-Team reference, and I'm watching like. What is this? It's a leprechaun. This guy feels like a leprechaun knockoff. When the movie ended, because I was just obsessed with knowing who the director was, because it felt like I was watching one of those like foreign made horror movies. Like all the camera angles are really weird. It was the guy who created Leprechaun, directed 1 and 2. But found that he was also a writer for the A-Team. So I was like, I feel like Nolan would have so much fun exploring this movie. I want to go buy it, and it is impossible to buy.
Really?
But somehow, our local library was able to get a copy of it after a brief request.
Nice.
My goodness.
Check this out.
All right, guys. All right, guys. Big thank you to everyone who stopped in tonight once again. We will see you guys. We'll see you members on Monday. Also, Monday daily content going to resume here on the channel. We release videos in the mornings. We've had to take the last couple of weeks off just because of life being super busy, starting a new job, finishing up old jobs, and certain big life events happening in my world. So I thank you all for your patience. It will be rewarded. And we will see you guys next week, Thursday night, 8 p.m. for more Tooney Talk TV. Thank you guys so much. And for all of us here at the Tooney Town channels, I am Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!
Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you! I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah. Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you.
And viewers like you. Thank you.